The Cold War, a world divided. Imagine a world divided into two competing ideologies, each armed to the teeth with nuclear weapons capable of obliterating the planet. This was the Cold War, a tense standoff between the United States and the Soviet Union that lasted nearly 50 years. In this high-stakes era, survival itself hung by a thread. Unlike traditional wars fought on the battlefield, the Cold War was waged with espionage, influence, and intimidation. From proxy wars to political coups and propaganda, both superpowers sought to outmaneuver each other in a bid for global dominance, creating a world in perpetual unease. At its core, the Cold War reflected a fundamental ideological clash: capitalism versus communism. The US championed economic freedom and private enterprise, while the Soviet Union rallied under the banner of state control and equality. These contrasting visions created fault lines across countries, families, and even hearts. Entire nations were caught in the struggle, forced to choose sides in a competition for influence. The Iron Curtain, dividing Eastern and Western Europe, became the front line of this ideological battle. This division loomed large in shaping political, economic, and social landscapes around the globe. The Cold War was also an age of terrifying weaponry. Both sides engaged in a nuclear arms race, amassing warheads capable of unimaginable destruction. The Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962 became the nerve-wracking apex of this standoff, a moment when the world teetered on the brink of nuclear war. For 13 tense days, leaders worked around the clock to prevent catastrophe. While diplomacy narrowly averted disaster, the crisis underscored the precarious balance of power that defined this era. Mutual fear of total annihilation ironically kept both sides from pressing the red button. While tensions dominated the Earth, competition also extended into the cosmos. The space race became a pivotal Cold War battlefield, symbolizing technological and ideological superiority. From Sputnik, the first artificial satellite, to America's Apollo moon landing, space exploration captured the imagination of billions. Each victory in space carried symbolic weight at home and abroad. The achievements demonstrated scientific prowess, asserting either communism's or capitalism's potential to lead humanity into the future. This cosmic rivalry ultimately pushed boundaries of human innovation. Not all battles of the Cold War were cold. Countries like Vietnam, Korea, and Afghanistan became battlegrounds for proxy wars, where the US and USSR fought for influence through local forces. These wars exacted devastating tolls, leaving scars that persist in those regions today. Movements in Latin America, Africa, and the Middle East were shaped by Cold War dynamics, as both superpowers sought control. Coup, revolutions, and divided governments became the norm in a world caught between opposing superpowers, forever altering the global order. The Cold War's climactic symbol was the Berlin Wall, which divided East and West Berlin for nearly 3 decades. This wall represented the physical and ideological separation of the two worldviews. Families were torn apart, and attempts to escape often met with deadly resistance. Then, in 1989, it happened. The wall came crashing down. Crowds celebrated as one of history's most enduring symbols of division crumbled, signaling the decline of Soviet influence. This moment marked the beginning of the end for the Cold War and a new era of hope and unity. Although the Cold War officially ended with the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991, its effects still echo today. NATO, nuclear arsenals, and geopolitical alignments remain as reminders. Understanding this period is crucial to grasp modern international relations and lessons about conflict, diplomacy, and resilience. The Cold War shaped the modern world, leaving behind lessons about the dangers of division, the power of diplomacy, and the need for cooperation in preserving peace. As global citizens, it's critical we learn from this history to prevent future conflicts of such magnitude. If you found this journey through the Cold War insightful, consider sharing this video with friends and family. Dive deeper into historical moments and reflect on their significance. Subscribe for more captivating documentaries and help us bring these stories to life for history enthusiasts everywhere.